Hi there. I'm Deborah Roth from Spirited Living and back again with the latest installment, my ninth one, in my year-long series with the Wellness Universe called What's Your JQ? Embracing Joy as a Core Life Skill. We'll be talking a lot about that today. And if you are watching this on YouTube, then please go to thewellnessuniverse.com to really explore what they are about. They are a wealth of wonderful classes and programs and you name it that are presented all by wellness practitioners of every stripe, mind, body, heart, spirit. If you are a wellness practitioner yourself, check it out as a wonderful place to present yourself. And if you're someone looking for any kind of wellness resources, it's really the place to go. And if you're watching this on the Wellness Universe, then you can learn a little bit more. I'm able to put a little bit more in my YouTube description, which I've got a couple juicy things I want to leave you with today that will be good resources for our topic today, which is, interestingly enough, if you've read about this, today the title, the theme for this ninth installment is Embracing Joy as a Core Life Skill, which I guess I figured since we're this far along, we're 3/4 of the way through the year, you have a pretty good idea of what I'm talking about when I talk about joy intelligence and JQ and the chair of joy, which I always try to do one, at least just a short one in these videos. So we're going to dive a little bit deeper with all the context that you have now, with all the resources that you have over the last 8-9 months. So looking at it a little bit more deeply, as you know, and as I've been talking about from the beginning, joy is really a skill that we can cultivate intentionally. Just had this conversation this morning with friends. Yes, it's true. Some people come by it naturally. Something in their DNA allows them to cultivate joy, to sense the joy that exists in all of us more easily than others. And if you're not one of those people, or you're somewhere in between, then there are things you can do. There are exercises and skills and all kinds of juicy things you can do. The idea is that it builds on the notion of emotional intelligence. And I talked about all the different kinds of intelligences back in June, so you can check out that one as well. And it is something that you can practice, that you can strengthen, that you can really make a commitment to honoring. Because when you do, it increases your creativity, your resilience. I mean, if you are making a conscious effort, an intentional effort sounds like the wrong word, but to cultivate more joy in your life, then it's this really cool kind of feedback loop. The idea is you won't get more joy when you get successful. You will be, when you start with joy, that's where success will come from. So, and I'm going to share with you just a handful of ways that we can do that. In our workplace, someone who makes a commitment to embracing joy intelligence really can make a difference in their teams in terms of making it through tough times, understanding how to negotiate, how to navigate stressful periods, which we all have at work. Likewise in families, parents who are modeling for their kids that joy is a core life skill, is teaching them resilience and how they can recover from difficult feelings. So looking at looking at this idea of intentionally cultivating joy, it literally changes your brain. And there's a wonderful researcher, let me find her name, Barbara Friedrichsen, and she's actually shown that positive emotions like joy broaden our thinking and help us to really build valuable inner resources to handle just about anything. And it really is something that we want to be sure that even if we're experiencing it for a short time, you're beginning to train your brain. It really is your brain opens up and it becomes more creative and more flexible in how you think. And when you do even if you do it, like I said, for just a second or two, these micro moments really just kind of add up like pebbles in a joy pool so that it's overflowing, and people around you benefit by it. Just, I mean, I'm sure you've known people that you just feel more calm, more joyful, more relaxed in their presence. That is something you can cultivate too. What other little goodies? I'm looking, there's just so many things to say as we're doing this deeper dive into joy as a core life skill. Let's see. So if you're, and again, there's been studies all over the place. If you go to JOYELY.com, JOYELY being the organization that really kind of introduced this idea of joy intelligence. It's amazing to me that someone hadn't coined that term before. And I, as I said, back in June, I talked about joy intelligence evolving from positive intelligence, communication intelligence, emotional intelligence, obviously, social intelligence, all of those. And if we make the effort to create it in our lives, it really creates a sense of safety in the world for ourselves, most importantly, starting with ourselves, but then the ripple effects for everyone else. So some of the easy ways, easy, maybe again, easier for some maybe than others, but some of the easy ways that you can do that, and I've talked about many of them here over the last several months, are creating, and you can still do it, even if you haven't started already, a joy journal. Literally at the end of the day, just even if it's just one, 3 things that brought you joy, even the teeniest amount of joy. And they could be surprising. One of my, I think it was maybe in April, I talked about the different flavors of joy and how that a moment of joy can show up even in a moment of heartbreak, which at the moment you may not be able to acknowledge, but looking back, you can see those kernels there. So a joy journal, purposeful play. So something that you just love to do, make sure you take the time to do that. If not every day, at least on a regular basis, because again, that's like joy training, to bring yourself to that place of happiness. Take joy breaks at work. Doesn't really mean, although that could be part of it, office parties and that kind of thing. But it really is maybe even just starting team meetings with everyone. And you may not be able to use the word joy. You can just say with a positive story, with something that happened, have people go around the room. That could be an icebreaker. And then learning about emotions. And here, JOYELY has done an absolutely amazing job talking about, they've created something called an emotions map. Again, if you go to their website, you can see there's a deck of cards. I mean, this is a deck of cards that introduces you to all the different emotions, because once you understand the full range of emotions, and there's thousands of them. I mean, books have been written about all the range of emotions that are out there and within us. Then you're more able to shift when you recognize them, to gently bring yourself back and begin to head, if not towards joy, at least towards more calm and peacefulness. And it means, so to be able to, I guess I hit them all. Joy, yeah, I was afraid I'd forget one. But so those are the 4 ideas for doing it. What for cultivating joy, for bringing a practice of joy into your life every day. Let's take a moment. I would love to lead you through a chair of joy. I'm trying to think if I want to go a particular direction, but let's keep it kind of open. So again, by now, you know that this powerful exercise, I often hold one of these great little joy stars, and my granddaughters have written on them with the 4 the 4 phases of it: sit, breathe, think, feel. So I have my little joy star. I have joy crystals. I have all kinds of joy things around my office. So and you don't need any of that. All you need to do is just sit. Imagine yourself in a favorite chair. Could be the one you're sitting in. Could be a rocking chair that you rock your kids or your grandkids in. But just conjure up in your mind's eye, really in your body, where you are sitting. That is very special and brings you just a sense of quiet joy. And then just breathe into that space. Breathe into that chair. Breathe into that moment. And then allow to bubble up a memory, a moment of joy sometime in the last week. It could have been this morning, could be from your childhood, but don't question it. Whatever bubbles up, create that moment, recreate that moment once again in your whole body. What was going on? Who were you with? What were you feeling? What were you thinking? What were you hearing, seeing, touching, tasting? Really activate all your senses. And then as you focus on what it was that you were feeling, name some of those emotions that were part of joy. It might be excitement, awe, gratitude, and just kind of, I always like to picture them as a pool at my feet, and then slowly imagine, draw up that pool of all those joyful feelings up through your whole body, up through the top of your head, and allow them to shower out like a fountain around you. And that's how I love to do a chair of joy. I hope you will take some time to cultivate that for yourself, to really bring yourself back to a moment, and then bring it present. Bring those same feelings to right where you are today. And then I hope you'll join us next month, where we're looking at the role of joy in mental health, which really kind of says it all. Thanks for joining me, and hope to see you then.